Coach Pearson here. Just want to take you through a little quick video on our flag football, kind of some of our rules and procedures, help some of our new coaches out. And we haven't done this for a year, shut down last year with the pandemic. So guys have been around, kind of a refresher, okay? Our rules and the way we run it are similar to NFL flag football. We change a few things just to kind of keep it more easy and consistent for the players, the coaches, and definitely for the kids who are refereeing the game, which are our players. High school kids, okay? Let me start with our field setup, right? We'll have 4 different games going at once. Possibility to play 4 games on the field, so we'll cut it up. So this is the 50-yard line, okay? Here's the end zone. All the games run from the 40-yard line down to the end zone. So once a touchdown is scored, okay, the other team will take the ball at the 45. All right, so everything is run into the end zone, a little safer that way. The kids can understand where the end zone's at, where they're scoring. Everything will be clearly marked out with cones and mapped out, so you have no problems with that, okay? So the ball starts at the 45. We'll have 2 kids areas, team areas on the sidelines in between the midline mark, okay? We're gonna ask this year with some of those COVID protocols to try to keep the kids spread out as best as possible in those areas. Checking on if they have to wear a mask when they're out. During the game, they do not have to wear a mask, but I'm not sure when they're sitting down. We'll talk through that, but we want to kind of keep that free of parents this year, and we'll mark those out with cones, okay? All right, as you play and you go down through the field, it's 25 yards for a first down, okay? It takes 25 yards for a first down. Now, here's how this works. You have 3 downs to move the ball, okay? On 4th down, you get a choice. Either you can punt it, and if you punt it on 4th down, then the other team will get the ball back on the 45, or you can go for it. If you go for it on 4th down and you don't get it, the other team would get the ball on that yard line, if that makes sense, okay? So you have three downs, and then you have a choice, punt or go for it. Once you get the first down, which is at the 20, then you have 3 downs to score a touchdown. Okay, there's no first downs when you're going in to score a touchdown, okay? Now, let's talk about a couple of the no run zones on the board. So as I'm moving the ball, okay, if I get my flag pulled, if I go out of bounds, whatever it may be, within a no run zone, which is 5 yards before the first down, and a no run zone is also 5 yards before the end zone, there you have to throw the ball. It's designed because we don't want to run power off tackle and dives and kids clanging heads in flag football. So within 5 yards of a first down, within 5 yards of a touchdown is a no run zone, has to be a pass. Okay, a forward pass has to be across the line of scrimmage. Can't be a screen pass, can't be a swing pass to a back. Okay, the ball has to go forward past the line of scrimmage. Can be thrown 2 hands underneath, like a shovel pass, that's okay, but it has to go forward, all right? Let's talk about a little bit about the game time. We play 2 halves. The first half just runs continuous. The clock does not stop in the first half, okay? We will stop. The only time we'll pause the clock is after a first down or after a touchdown. We'll pause it to go for the 2 or 1. We'll talk about that, and then we'll reset it again. The clock starts, okay? You do have 1 timeout per half, all right? In the second half, the last 2 minutes, we'll play like real football. So if a guy goes out of bounds, if it's an incomplete pass, or if it's a first down, we'll stop that clock, okay? So we'll play that like real football in the last 2 minutes of the game, okay? When you score, all right, you have a choice. You can go for 1 or for 2, okay? If you go for 1, okay, it's from the 5-yard line, and it has to be a pass only if you go for 1. If you go for 2, we back it up to the 10-yard line, and it can be a run or pass. Okay, so those are your choices. Again, 1 is from the 5-yard line, has to be a pass only. 2 is from the 10-yard line, and it can be a run or pass. Okay, so those are conversions. Okay, let's move on a little bit. We'll talk about the rules of the game. Okay, just so we understand it. So, just like football, there's 5 guys that play in this game. Okay, you can put them in any order you want. Okay, you can be wide receivers. You can be all in the backfield. Okay, you can do whatever you want with your formation. Doesn't matter, okay? Only thing is the center is the only guy that has to be on the line of scrimmage, okay? The center can snap the ball like a traditional snap between their legs. You can shotgun snap, or the center can turn with a side snap. Sometimes it's easier for those guys to do that, okay? The rest of the receivers can be wherever you want, whatever formation you want to set up. It doesn't matter, okay? They can line up that way, okay? You are allowed to have 1 person in motion. Okay, so if you wanted to bring this guy in motion and then snap the ball just like football, you can bring him in motion, snap the ball, and go from that. Okay, those are all legal. Okay, everybody is eligible for a pass. All right, so when the ball is snapped, the center, the running backs, the receivers, everybody is eligible to go out for a pass. Okay, handoff wise, handoffs have to happen behind the line of scrimmage. Okay, you can hand the ball off in front of you or behind you, but you can't toss it. has to be a hand off. Okay. You also can hand the ball off as many times you want behind the line of scrimmage. So if you want to run reverses or triple reverses behind the line of scrimmage as many times you want, hand the ball off, we're good. The second you cross the line of scrimmage, there cannot be any more type of handoffs at all. Okay. Second you cross the line of scrimmage, the offense needs to pause and stop. All right. And just the guy running the ball goes. Okay. Guy running the ball, we have to make sure there's things you can't put your shoulder down and run into a guy. You can't take your hand and guard the flag or stiff arm a guy that's trying to pull your flag. That's called a flag guard. Okay, you can spin, you can run, you can make moves. Okay, but and at any point, if your flag comes out, even if it falls out on its own, wherever the flag is out, you're down. Okay, in terms of getting first downs and touchdowns, the flag dictates it. So if somebody reaches for a touchdown in real football, that's a touchdown. In flag football, it's the flags that have to cross the line. Okay, kind of. You know, we don't want guys diving again in injury, just safety stuff, okay? Okay, now the quarterback, here's how this works, okay? If the ball is snapped to the quarterback, whether it's a shotgun or underneath, the quarterback can run around anywhere he wants behind the line of scrimmage, okay? But he cannot run the ball. Now, the defense is allowed a rusher. The rusher will come from 7 yards. Quarterback can do whatever he wants to do to avoid the rusher behind the line of scrimmage. The officials will count. In 7 seconds, he has to get rid of the ball. Okay, he can't sneak the ball. Okay, now here's where this changed. Okay, if you snap the ball to a quarterback and he hands it to the tailback, okay, or if somebody comes in motion, if you hand the ball off, now the guy that got the ball hand off to him, he has an option of running or throwing, and there's no clock, there's no time anymore. He can do either thing, and once you hand it off, the quarterback is also allowed to go out for a route, go out to run a route and catch the ball and do things like that. Okay. The only difference is the second you hand it off to a tailback, all of the defense is allowed to cross the line to come get you. Okay? If you don't hand it off to the tailback, only that rusher, and some teams will rush people, some may not. Only that rusher is allowed to come get you. Does that make sense? So if you hand the ball off, it's a good idea at times on offense. Just know then the entire defense can come after that kid if they want. Okay? Everybody's allowed to go get the ball. All right? Covered that. On defense, okay? Again, there's 5 guys out there. Some guys like to play on defense, some, especially at the younger levels. Some guys like to play a 3-2 zone, okay? Play a 3-2 zone, play these guys at 7, play those guys at 5. Some guys like to play a 1-3-1 zone. Some guys like to play 7 guys all across. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. You can play man defense or zone defense, okay? On defense, we talked about we're allowed 1 rusher, okay? One of the officials, okay, stands in the middle here. The rusher doesn't have to stand right next to him, but just he has to be at that 7 yards. That rusher has to be behind that 7-yard mark before the ball snapped. Now, by some chance if an offense got cute and went on a second sound or something like that, where they went hut, hut, and then they snapped the ball, if the rusher stepped across the line and the ball was snapped, he can't rush then because now he's in front of 7 yards. So there may be times where we'll have to watch that, and if you do it, it'll be an illegal rush. Okay? Defense, again, we don't want the tackle. You know what I mean? We're pulling flags, okay, but we're not really trying to run through and create huge contacts. We don't have a ton of issues with that, but at times it could be a penalty if we knock a guy over and like that, okay? Our penalties are pretty simple the way we do it. If it's a penalty on the defense, the offense gets 5 yards and a first down. If it's a penalty on the offense, okay, it's loss of 5 yards and loss of down. Okay, so we keep it really simple penalty-wise. That's a little bit different than the NFL. They have a bunch of different rules. We don't go that in-depth with the rules. Keeps it easier and the kids play and have some fun. Okay, last couple things we talk about. Okay, playing time. I gave you guys that in the text message. We do have a tournament at the end of the year. Okay, everybody's in the tournament. Playing time, I would encourage you guys, kids should play, pretty close to the same amount of time. Okay, there may be a point where maybe 1 or 2 guys plays a little bit more because they, maybe you don't have anybody else who can be a quarterback or whatever maybe, but we should do that. And I would encourage you guys, set a lineup, set a card before you come. It's the easiest thing to do. Once you have it, it's set. You can rotate, whether you're rotating, these 5 are on offense the first half, these 5 are on defense, and we flip. Whatever it may be, but if you set it ahead of time, it takes the thinking out of it. You probably need to get a parent to kind of help here. You're in charge of doing that. And then again, everybody should try to touch the ball at least 1 time during the regular season, okay? If you do it the right way, you can give the ball to, Johnny here and Joey here, and then your best guy can get your first down. And then go again, here, and your best guy can go again, okay? So there's ways to be able to handle that. When the tournament comes, okay, if you've done a great job all year, playing guys, rotating the guys, everybody's touched the ball, come tournament time, then you may be able to maybe rely a little bit more on your better players if that's something that you're looking to do, okay? Parents' behavior, we talked about that. This is a no-nonsense league. We haven't had too many issues. A group a couple years ago, we had to ask them to leave. If there's yelling or screaming at anybody, coaches and our officials, which are high school kids, me and the rest of the staff will be there. We will just ask them to simply leave. I'll refund their money and they can be done with it. This is set up to have fun. It's competitive, okay? It's a good time, but we're going to do it the right way. And if they can't handle that, they'll be asked to leave. And then COVID rules. Now listen, I don't like it as much as you guys do being outside. We're going to have some warm days. Maybe the cold days, it'll be good to have a mask on, but coaches have to have masks on at all times, no matter what. If you're practicing with your team down at Liberty Park, okay, or Todd Park, or wherever, if you're doing it a part of this organization, part of the school, you have to have a mask on, okay? Certainly at the games, you have to have a mask on. Parents coming to games, spectators have to have a mask on. The players do not have to play with a mask. Okay, the players won't have to have it on when they play. I'm still looking for clarification on when they're out. You know, in varsity basketball games, girls and boys this year, when they came out, they did put a mask on the sideline. So I don't know if we have to do that when they come out of the game. I'll let you know. We'll go from there. So hope this will help you guys. I'm sure there's a bunch of other questions. Always feel free to call me with any type of questions you want. Really appreciate you guys being a part of this thing, and let's have a great season.